If you're watching this video, chances are that you have jumped through the many hoops to start your trucking business. Congratulations! Of course, you probably know that your compliance journey with the FMCSA has only just begun. In the first 12 months of operation, your new trucking authority will be subject to the new Entrant Safety Audit by the FMCSA. So let's talk about it. I'm Caroline from Bobtail. We have a factoring service for truckers with no long-term contracts and no hidden fees. Here at the Bobtail Help Desk, our goal is to help your trucking business thrive. If that sounds good to you, subscribe to our channel for more trucking business information. The FMCSA New Entrant Safety Program monitors carriers' safety performance in the first months of operation. New carriers have to undergo a higher level of scrutiny to make sure that they're up for the challenge of complying with all federal safety regulations. This program applies to you if you're an interstate carrier with a new operating authority. You can learn more about how to get your operating authority in the video that we published a couple weeks ago. The audit is performed to make sure you're operating safely and keeping up-to-date records. You have to pass this audit in order to obtain your permanent operating authority. Okay, so how will you know when your new entrant safety audit is going to happen? Typically, the new entrant safety audit will happen 3 to 12 months after you've activated your operating authority. The state-level enforcement agency will contact you sometimes by email, but sometimes by physical mail, to set up a time and a date. They will let you know in that message how many days you have to respond, but we recommend responding as quickly as possible. It will make a good first impression. If you don't respond to this message within the time frame that they've given you, you will be put out of service with the DOT, and you really don't want that. So what's included in this audit? Please note that this video is based on publicly available information from the FMCSA website as of the time of publishing this video. Change is inevitable, so make sure you're keeping up to date with the information on the FMCSA website if it's been a while. Okay, so arguably the Drug and Alcohol Safety Program is probably the most important part of the audit. Most of these requirements are specific to CDL drivers. Drug and alcohol testing for non-CDL drivers is allowed, but it has to be separated from the drug and alcohol testing programs for CDL drivers. So here's what you're going to need to show the auditing officer. Proof of membership to a drug and alcohol testing consortium, registration on the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse with an accepted third-party administrator and proof of queries, post-accident drug tests, driver qualification files on every driver, including yourself as an owner-operator. These have to contain, among other required documents, pre-employment drug and alcohol testing and results, as well as evidence of random drug and alcohol testing. Drug and alcohol supervisor training and written drug testing policy only if you have other drivers. You can automatically fail the audit for any of these reasons. No alcohol or drug testing program, no random alcohol or drug testing, using a driver who refused a required alcohol or drug test, using a driver the company knows had a blood alcohol content of 0.04% or greater, and using a driver who failed to complete required follow-up procedures after testing positive for drugs. Apart from the drug and alcohol program documentation, you're also going to need a list of drivers with first and last names, date of birth, date of hire, license number, and licensing states. In addition to the list, you're going to need a driver qualification file for each driver. This includes their driver's license, CDL if applicable, driver's records on duty and supporting documentation like tolls and receipts, driver's motor vehicle record or MVR, medical certificate and DOT medical exam, and an application of employment. This is not necessary if you are the business owner and the only driver. We have a whole video on driver qualification files on our channel, so definitely go check that out. If you've knowingly used a driver with any of the following violations, you could automatically fail the audit. CDL requirements may or may not apply. A driver without a valid CDL or license, a disqualified driver, a driver with a revoked, suspended, or canceled CDL or license, and a medically unqualified driver. Auditors can also ask you to provide documentation regarding insurance and hours of service. Make sure you have all your insurance policies on hand, including anything for hazmat if that applies to your business. In addition, keep track of your MCS 90 form. You may need to present this to the auditor. You'll also need to provide ELD logs from the last 30 days leading up to the date of your audit. This report is easy enough to generate once you know the date of your audit. You will need to keep a running list of all vehicles you've used for your business, plus documentation regarding cab cards and any DOT inspections. Your vehicle list should include VIN numbers, license plate states and numbers, make, model, year, and the name and model of the ELD. If repairs were required after an inspection, keep records of those repairs and when the vehicle was used. The following violations can lead to immediate failure of the audit: operating a vehicle declared out of service by the DOT for safety deficiencies before repairs are made, not performing out of service repairs reported in driver vehicle inspection reports, and operating a commercial motor vehicle not periodically inspected. Okay, that's a lot of paperwork to keep track of. So what happens if I do fail the audit? If you're found to have any violations during the new entrant safety audit, the consequences will depend on the severity of those violations. Some really serious violations can lead to revoking your operating authority and shutting down your business altogether. Relatively minor violations will require that you implement corrective action. Basically, fix what's wrong and give them evidence that you've fixed it. But instead of focusing on what might happen, focus on what you can control, and that's your filing system. Having an excellent filing system with all your paperwork put together will help you answer auditors' questions quickly. This will leave the impression that you are who you are, a responsible and organized business owner. A good filing system doesn't need to be fancy. You can keep documents physically or electronically, though we recommend that you always have an electronic copy of everything just in case. Here's a great way to organize your files for the audit. Create a folder on the desktop of your computer called New Entrant Safety Audit. Then create folders within that folder labeled Driver Qualification Files, Drug and Alcohol Testing, Operations, and Vehicles. Every time you get a new document that you think you might need in the New Entrant Safety Audit, make a copy of it and save it in that folder. It's so much easier to keep up with all your documents one by one than letting them pile up and having to do it all at once. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on another trucking business video. And comment with any questions that you have about the trucking industry. Also, don't forget to check out our factoring service at Bobtail.com and learn how you can get paid fast for loads. And I'll see you in the next video.